Slania Corvids, I am Corvus Bruxo, Luggenikos, and welcome again to the Nemeton. Today I want to do my first video on how to or DIY or whatever you want to call it, and I just want to show you how I make my black salt. So black salt is the first recipe that I got to make in my entire life. And I think that includes cooking food also. I mean, I'm terrible at making things and mixing things. I am very impatient. So this was the first success that I had while walking the crooked path. It's not perfect, but it works. I have tried it in several occasions and it has worked. So I'm really inexperienced. I know there are a bunch of videos on making black salt, but super powerful witches. Some I believe, some I don't. But yeah, these super powerful witches provide sometimes very useful advices and recipes, etc. But basically what I wanted to show is how an inexperienced witch can do it. So what is black salt? Black salt, also known as witch's salt or witch's black salt, is a recipe used by witches, especially Western and European witches, to protect, to hex, and to banish. Those are the main uses of black salt, but you can use it in a really other bunch of things for real. It's like some of the most eclectic elements that a witch can use. We must leave this clear because I hadn't this clear and I had to really dig into it to find out witch's salt or witch's black salt is not the edible Himalayan black salt or other types of black salt that are edible and are used in cooking food. This black salt is rarely edible. Most of the times it isn't, because the blackening elements or the banishing elements aren't edible. So don't try to use this on food, don't try to put it in your mouth, you can intoxicate yourself, be very careful. Most people use sea salt, but some of the people like to buy fancy salt like kosher salt. Is it said kosher in English too? You use this salt and you use a blackening element. This blackening element can vary or can be used to different levels and degrees. The most used elements, blackening elements, are usually black pepper, charcoal, or iron scrapings, usually from frying pans or the cauldron. The cauldron is very useful. I don't have a cauldron and black pepper usually makes me sneeze. So I tried charcoal and it works wonders. So I'm gonna stick with charcoal for a while. I'm so fucking tired of moving my hands like this. This is a sign language thing that makes me move my hands. If I don't move my hands, I feel like I'm not expressing myself properly. So the recipe is that easy. The recipe is as easy as a blackening element and sea salt, usually in a proportion of 1/3 of blackening element and 2/3 of salt. But it can vary depending on how powerful the blackening element is and the quantity that you make, etc. I usually measure by eye. And yeah, you can use also as blackening element, those three are the major ones, but you can also use, for example, burnt herbs and plants that adds power and energy and spiritual empowerment to the black salt, or to the aid that you want to get by the black salt. If you want protection, if you want to banish, if you want to hex somebody, depending on that, you can add different plants and herbs. Mainly burnt, because that will add the black to the salt. I have my black salt here and I'm gonna make a little bit just for you to see it, to see how easy it is, how an inexperienced witch can do it. This is like my 3rd or 4th black salt in my entire life, and it's the first recipe that I got to do that works and that is fine. And I don't want to show you a fancy one. I don't know if you can see, but it's very granulated. It's not like the perfect powdered black salt that many witches show on the internet because it's cool. Mine is imperfect but functional. Enough of talking, let's go for it. You only need as basics a blackening element. In this case we're gonna use this. I've picked a very small piece of charcoal. This is vegetal charcoal, so it's a very blackening element, but you can use iron scrapings or black pepper or anything that makes the salt black, and that's the basic that you need for making black salt. It's as easy as you pick the charcoal and you maybe the microphone is collapsing because it's a very sensitive one and I'm making a lot of noise. Yeah. I hate this part because it seems like very simple, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just mash a little bit. It's never a little bit. Okay guys, I'm gonna keep smashing for a while. I'll be back in a few minutes. So we've got the charcoal smashed into a somewhat powder. I hope you can see it, that it's mostly a powder, and it takes a lot and my arm hurts. We've got this, and now we just add the salt, but as I said, you can actually add burnt herbs, you can add spices, both for blackening and also to add power to the black salt. Not too much. It's always the blackening and the salt are always the major parts of the recipes. The rest is always in lower quantity. So I like to add burnt herbs. I usually add rosemary and rue and some others, but I'm not gonna burn herbs because it's very stinky. It leaves the house terrible smelling, but I like to use also ashes from bonfires, from incense whatsoever. This is from an incense stick because I used the other ashes that I collected in this already made black salt, and I will add this one to that one. That's the reason that I haven't made much of it. So to the black powder you add the ashes or whatever you're gonna use. Like, yeah, it's very little. You can add everything and then smash them all together, or you can go step by step. I prefer to go step by step because in the little experience that I have noticed that the larger amount of things to smash, either one or different ingredients, the more difficult it is to make it into a powder. We have mixed with the ashes and now we just add salt. If we wanted, we could use black pepper also, or other spices or burnt herbs, but yeah, this salt is terrible. Since I'm inexperienced, and that's the point of this video, I add just by measuring with the eye. So we add this quantity, and if we need more, we add more. We smash it and mix it all together, and we see if it stays black enough. It usually stays. I mean, charcoal is a very powerful blackening element. black pepper is a little less powerful, and if you have a very sensitive very sensitive nose, or you have allergies like I have, like I suffer from, it's very easy that the black pepper makes you sneeze. Or black salt. You see that black smoke, that's a good indicative. Now we just throw it to the mix. This is the messiest part of it all. Yeah. My parents are gonna kill me. And this is how the mortar is left after you throw everything in. It's a little bit here yet. But the black smoke is witchy as fuck, so it's worth. And yeah, here we have it. Black salt with charcoal. That's all you need. So this is it, guys. This is how you can make very simple black salt, how you can vary the ingredients, how you can vary the recipe to what you want to do at that very moment, or a very specific goal that you had for the black salt. I would recommend to use what I referred as the animist approach with the black salt too. I try to communicate with the spirit of the different elements, or with the spirits that are entangled in the end, so they would aid me. But that's up to you and to your cosmology and your spiritual vision. That's none of my business. But yeah, if you have any doubts or any suggestions, if you want to tell me what is your recipe, put it in the comments down below. Please like if you like the video, don't dislike if not, don't be rude. Subscribe to keep updated and for more recipes and advancements on my craft that I may want to show you. Thanks for watching. May the way to the way watch over you all. Bye.